Ladies and gentle weebs, my fellow flames of amethyst, a lot of people in the Wuthering Waves community are calling me crazy, saying that I'm talking absolute wass nonsense, absolute doggy doo-doo, when I say Geshu Lin is not dead and Geshu Lin will be playable at some point this year. People are saying, didn't he die in the legend? I swear he died. I thought he perished in the fires under, the Battle of the Crescent. The legend, didn't he die? I'm going to basically run down why Geshu Lin is not dead. But first, we need to actually pay attention to the legend that is the battle beneath the Crescent and why this is so important to Geshu Lin's lore. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button. Without further ado, let's begin this. Alright, I actually haven't seen this for a while, so I'm going to...
The Honorable Madame Jinhsi, our great magistrate of Jinzhou, was handpicked by Sentinel Jur. Her status as the Sentinel's appointed resonator is rare among all past magistrates. Our Jinzhou was leaderless for years until Jur finally chose her to be the next magistrate, and she answered the call.
Yeah.
To further elaborate, we must start with the battle beneath the
The
Crescent.
battle beneath the Crescent.
The Norfall Barons, scarred by countless wars, discarded weapons scattered like bone.
Yeah.
Our soldiers had fought to reclaim the land for years, to no avail.
So the soldiers of Huanglong of Jinzhou were fighting the Threnodians and the Overthrax, which is the Threnodian, and the Tacit Discord army for many years, and they just were not getting anywhere. They were dying, they were perishing, lives were lost, blood was spilled, and there was essentially no hope.
Overthrax, the dreadful Threnodian monster, fed on the frequencies of weapons, turning our fallen soldiers into deadly Tacit Discord.
So the Overthrax, which is the Threnodian monster of Huanglong's Threnodian, was essentially feeding off of war, feeding off of battle, feeding off of weaponry, feeding off of dark commotion and reverberations of this, and was using that energy to turn fallen soldiers into Tacit Discords, essentially creating an eternal army where if a soldier fell, it would reincarnate and resurrect as a Tacit Discord. Essentially, it was an undead army, and an infinite undead army, because the more soldiers fell, the more Tacit Discords rose, so it's kind of like a cycle that would not have been able to been beaten, like,
General of the Midnight Rangers, Geshu Lin,
there he is.
Rose to confront the threat.
Yes, he did. He confronted the threat. General of the Midnight Rangers before John, the superior general of the Midnight Rangers, not this Emerald Dragon fuck. We're talking about the purple amethyst fire god that is Geshu Lin. Yes.
As twin moons aligned, General Geshu Lin vowed to vanquish evil, raising his blade against the blood-red crescent that foretold destruction.
Yep. Yep.
His sword blazed with black flames, laying waste to all who dared stand in his way. Victory seemed certain.
He's a legend.
Until the retroact rain began to fall.
The retroactive rain began to fall.
Raindrops fell upwards, as in the past. Monsters raged, loyal souls fell to blood-soaked sands, infernal carnage. Issuing his last command, Geshu Lin demanded all soldiers stand firm, no matter what happened.
Basically, what he meant by that was his soldiers were dying, his soldiers were becoming scared and losing morale. Geshu Lin essentially is an arsehole. He's a dickhead. He's a very morally grey person. So as far as he's concerned, I don't really care how many soldiers fell. I don't really care how many people lost their lives. As long as I attain victory and as long as this threat is vanquished, I don't care what happens. That is essentially who Geshu Lin is. He's a very merciless, cold-hearted person that isn't evil, but the way he attains victory for the side of good and the side of the light is very dark and very morally grey. He's not evil, but he is not a good inherent person. Like he's a dick. He's an absolute cockhead. Like he does not care about people's feelings. He doesn't care about people's lives. He sees them as pawns. He sees them as collateral damage to his victory. That is essentially who Geshu Lin is.
Sacrificing his body to the black flames for power, Geshu Lin charged at the Overthrax with all his might.
So he sacrificed his body and soul, and he basically gave the power of the black flames his body. So he basically lost his mind and was like, okay, if I'm going to defeat this thing, I need to not hold back, and I need to take off my restraints and basically give in to this power that I've been given. His resonance ability so basically is around this black flame power, but too much of it can consume you and basically turn you insane. So that's why when they're saying sacrificing his body to the black flames for power, it means he's not holding back anymore, but he doesn't really care what happens to himself as long as he attains great power to defeat this thing. He doesn't really care what happens to himself. That's what I mean. He does not care. Doesn't care about soldiers' lives, doesn't care about his own life. The only thing he cares about is victory. That is the only thing he cares about. Victory to attain peace. So that is why, yes, he is a hero, but he's a morally grey person, and quite frankly, people aren't his biggest fans because of the way, his methods, essentially, of attaining victory.
And he was never seen again.
Never seen again. He was Let's listen to that bit again. Listen to that bit again.
Geshu Lin demanded all soldiers stand firm, no matter what happened. Sacrificing his body to the black flames for power, Geshu Lin charged at the Overthrax with all his might, and he was never seen again.
Never seen again.
After the fall of their leader, the remaining soldiers despaired until the deafening roar of Jinhsi.
Never seen again. There was no specific. There's no. He did never specified he died. He just disappeared. He disappeared. Was never seen again. He went after this thing, sacrificing his body to the black flames. Pure power. Disappeared. Gone. Instant. They're never seen again. You know, he may have overclocked. He may have overclocked. He may have, you know, followed it into the world of wherever the Threnodians reside. We don't know. But he did not die. His body was never found.
Struck like lightning, a lone youth bravely stood up to lead a hard-won retreat. After the battle, that young man who tamed the wind ascended to fame, becoming the new general of the Midnight Rangers, selected by Sentinel Jur. On the other hand, General Geshu was blamed for the massive losses that occurred under his command, earning him a notorious reputation in Wanlong.
And the sword reverted to this. The sword was reverted to this. The sword basically turned into this. So another theory is Geshu Lin is actually trapped within the sword, because if you remember earlier in the legend, the black flame, his sword, it basically is embodying the black flame, and his sword basically emits black flame. So the fact that he sacrificed his body to the black flame indicates that when this sword reverted back to this, that he, maybe his soul or his essence, is trapped within the sword, because the sword is imbued with the black flame's power. And since he sacrificed his body to the black flames, this might be where he is trapped within the sword, which would be really, really cool, you know?
That battle struck us hard, but our sentinel rose from its long slumber to select a new magistrate who'll guide us into the future. Despite the previous disaster, Jinzhou was off to a promising start under our sentinel and the new magistrate's guidance. The people held hope for a better tomorrow.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So, In essence, Geshu Lin didn't die. He disappeared. He was never seen again. No one knew, his body was never found. The only thing that was left was his sword. His sword reverted to this basic sword, which tells me that the Black Flames basically either Geshu Lin either is trapped within the sword. Since he sacrificed his body to the Black Flame, his sword emits the Black Flame's power, so which tells me he's either trapped within the sword. It's not impossible that he might have died and perished within the battle against the Threnodian. However, with no body, sword was found. Sword contains power of Black Flame. Geshu Lin's body sacrificed to Black Flame equals Geshu Lin trapped within sword. That's where I'm getting at. There is another theory that he is trapped somewhere in another dimension, in another realm. So yeah, there's lots of things to surround the theory to support the theory that Geshu Lin is still alive. I don't think Geshu Lin is dead. People get this misconception that Geshu Lin is dead. No, because I've literally just broken down the fact that his body was never found. The only thing to indicate that he died was when the narrator went, the fall of their leader basically put the army into chaos. They had no leader now, so the fall of their general. But just before that, Geshu Lin was never seen again. Like, never seen again. Like, no one saw him die. No one saw him go anywhere. He just went after the Threnodian. That's the last people saw of him. That is it. That's all we got. But yeah, so people that are saying that Geshu Lin's dead, no, he's not dead. They never actually said he's dead. There's no confirmation in lore that he is dead. It is just that he disappeared. And he's either trapped within the sword, which contains the power of the Black Flame, or he's trapped somewhere else, maybe the Threnodian's world or somewhere else, which is going to enable him to return in the future, where he's most likely going to fight Jan. He's most likely going to cause havoc. I don't think he's going to be a villain for long. I think he's going to be a redeemable villain, but we shall see. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this puts things into perspective for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.